Hello guys, welcome to your own channel Chess Radio Kolkata. Yes, the real slaughtering by Mndas.
This video is brought to you by
Queen's Gambit
Squarespace. For websites, online stores,
versus
and a
Old
whole
Indian
lot more,
Defense.
Squarespace brings you everything you need to craft your online community. Rewatching Kung Fu Panda again really made me appreciate how well written, well choreographed, and how amazing this movie and the trilogy as a whole is. The voice acting, the direction, the soundtrack, on all levels, Kung Fu Panda is a masterful film, and one that has been dear to my heart since 2008. However, I want to focus on my favorite character of the film, Tai Lung. Whether it be as a foil to Tigress, a direct counterpart to Po, or as Shifu's fallen student, Tai Lung was a great villain, and I want to talk about why I love his character. Of course, I can't mention Tai Lung without first mentioning his prison escape, which is probably the coolest prison break I've seen. How the blue, cold colors interact with the warm reds, and the overall choreography of this scene is amazing. The decisions that Tai Lung makes is a perfect introduction to demonstrate his power, his ferocity, but also his cleverness. And it helps to further ground the martial arts in the film. While exaggerated, of course, he's not some superhero. He makes smart, quick decisions, and he is a really talented martial artist, one that worked incredibly hard to be this powerful. Later, when he fights the Furious Five, the fight is a stunning realization that he is indeed Shifu's greatest student. This battle highlights the separation between him and Tigress, the trust that Shifu had in him, and the trust that he doesn't have with Tigress. About 40 minutes into the film, we get the backstory on Tai Lung, narrated by Tigress. The baby cub who appeared on the steps of the Jade Palace was taken in by Shifu, who raised him and mentored him, showing love and care like a father. And one key line out of Tigress's narration was that Shifu told Tai Lung that he was destined for greatness. Tai Lung poured everything into his training, and as he grew older, he wanted the Dragon Scroll as compensation, but Oogway denied him it. In his anger, the Snow Leopard destroyed a village and returned to the Jade Palace, seeking out the scroll by force. Tai Lung's story sees how detrimental and how heavy the weight of expectations can be, especially when placed on by a parental figure. While Shifu never outright told him that it was his destiny to harness the scroll's knowledge, from Tai Lung's perspective, the Dragon Scroll was the be-all and all of greatness.
That is the conclusion.
If he couldn't have that, then he couldn't be great. He couldn't fulfill his destiny. Instead of inner belief, the scroll became validation for Tai Lung, to prove to not only himself but to Shifu that he was worth the hard work that his mentor, that his father, had put into him. Not only that, the Dragon Scroll was the fruit of his labor. Tai Lung states how much hard work was put into it, the years he dedicated, the bones he broke, for the scroll that he was denied. This story of Shifu and Tai Lung becomes even more interesting when they fight at the end. And more importantly, when Tai Lung says that all of his hard work, his motivation, was for Shifu to be proud of him. And in his rage, Tai Lung demands that he says it. Again, we are brought back to the
Pause
theme
and
of the
find
mentor,
the
the
mate
parent.
one.
Shifu filled Tai Lung with this idea that the Snow Leopard was destined for greatness. And once again,
Thanks
the
for
Dragon
watching.
Scroll
Let's move
represents
to the
that
second
greatness in physical form. It was the weight of Shifu's expectations, his pride, that brought Tai Lung to this very point. Without that physical representation of greatness, he was a failure, and failure drove him to rage. After Tai Lung demands that Shifu tells him that he's proud of him, Shifu does, and his mentor also apologizes, and the look on Tai Lung's face is shocking. Throughout the film, he's been arrogant and tenacious, but this was a foreign emotion for the Snow Leopard. All he's ever wanted was for Shifu to utter those words. Even with all of the love shown to him by Shifu, those words were never spoken. It wasn't the scroll that he was after, it was Shifu's approval. And you can physically see the weight those words held when the Snow Leopard's rage fades. In these 8 seconds, we see the real Tai Lung, the the sense and the humanity that he has left. The real Tai Lung is still in there. Because in that moment, he's that cub again facing his mentor, facing his father. The way he so subtly walks into the light emphasizes that. Shifu is pleading for his son back, but Tai Lung brushes it off and returns to anger. It's too late. At that point, the damage was already done. He was already too far gone. He now has to walk the path that he chose and remember the rage he built in prison for 20 years. The isolation that Shifu and Oogway forced upon him. The expectation for greatness wasn't Shifu's anymore, but now instead his own. Now to prove to himself and to prove to Oogway and to Shifu that he was worthy of the power contained in that scroll. To prove to them that they have truly denied him his destiny. He doesn't want the scroll anymore for validation. He knows that he is strong enough to be the Dragon Warrior and to beat the Dragon Warrior. Now he wants the scroll's limitless power, to be strong enough to defeat Oogway and Shifu. That scene right there is why I love Tai Lung.
Back to the game. Sorry guys.
He carried an incredibly human desire to be appreciated and to be valued. He felt that he was owed the Dragon Scroll as compensation for all the work he put in. From his perspective, it's only right. Shifu filled him up with air, with dreams, he says. Shifu made him arrogant. And when he wasn't given the scroll, the validation, it angered him beyond measure. And not only was he denied the scroll, Oogway said that he saw darkness in him, which I think hurts more than simple rejection, especially considering the fact that Shifu never defended the goodness inside of him. It's at this point when it becomes Shifu's story of failure. Shifu built up Tai Lung's self-image with nurturing love and belief, and of course, these are amazing positive qualities. But where Shifu failed in his parenting and in his mentoring was not instilling the snow leopard with humility, modesty, the ability to face rejection and to keep working. The scroll was never owed to Tai Lung, but without humility, he felt that way. Shifu failed by not telling the snow leopard that, by existing, he was already great. And believing in himself is what would have made him even greater. Failure changed Shifu. It changed the way he teaches and his approach to life. No one was ever going to beat Tai Lung. It's interesting because in the opening scene of The Furious 5, Shifu tells Tigress that she needs more ferocity, Monkey more speed, Crane more height, and Viper greater subtlety. All qualities that Tai Lung possesses, that he's demonstrated. He truly is Shifu's greatest student. That failure, Tai Lung, stripped him of his smile and his love. It made him crave control, or the illusion of it, as Oogway says, until Po arrived. When I think of the theme of destiny in this film and apply it to Tai Lung, it's sad. Tai Lung's destiny was never truly his own, but one forced upon him, and one that he believed was his own. Oogway said that one often meets his destiny on the path he takes to avoid it. We never learn what Tai Lung's destiny is, but maybe in the pursuit of the Dragon Scroll, in the pursuit of Shifu's approval, which he didn't know he already had, Tai Lung was trying to force his way into what he thought his destiny was. But on that narrow path, with the illusion which he didn't know he already had, Tai Lung was trying to force his way into what he thought his destiny was.
Okay, so
but on that narrow
you
path,
can see
with the illusion of
that you are
control
playing the
blinding
Queen's Pawn
him,
opening.
he ended up avoiding his own destiny.
I play something called
I want to give a big thank you to
Indian
Squarespace for
game.
sponsoring this video.
But
If
actually
you
I am
don't
playing
already know,
Benoni Defense.
Squarespace is a super useful online tool that can
Against
help
this,
you craft
this
your
is the
online
Benoni.
community, your
So I am
brand,
playing
whatever you
Benoni,
need
but
online.
I am
Squarespace
mixing up
pretty
with
much
the
has
Indian
it.
defense.
From your own
Now
website,
you are
if you are a
replying with
blogger, for artists and
something
filmmakers, you can use
nice
Squarespace for
variation
your
of Indian.
portfolio. You can run an
So I turned this game into the Benoni defense. But that is a different name. So now if you are going for the C4, capture the pawn, capture, attack. Now here you can see tempo is lost. This is the third move. After fourth move, now you can see the position. you don't have, you are behind in the development. You can see. Now I'm just capturing the center in the 5th move. So whenever I just capture the center, you cannot attack me. Now here my strategy is to play a safe match. Like you're replying, this kind of replying, I just simply play this. Now you can see the center is totally protected. Here show you the engine. Yes, C4 is the move. I just want to explain it. Like whenever this kind of situation, you push G3. Okay, after the capture of this move, this should be your position. Now after that, you need to develop your bishop. That is the C4 structure. You know first the English opening, then you have to play the Queen's Gambit. And I don't know what opening you are playing. What is this opening? Zucker thought variation. So do you know about Zucker thought variation? Then learn it if you play against this, because after this kind of situation, this game turns into the London system. You can see over here, right? This is the opening names. So that is the London system. So against the London system, that is Slav or the semi-Slav, this kind of structure I didn't prefer. I would like to play notable. That is not the notable. That is a notable structure. Okay. You maybe called it Indian semi-Slav or Slav. But I didn't like to play this kind of structure against d4 because people know that line. They are well prepared. So you are confusing me with this knight, but the Zukenthor variation you don't know that. And now you are going to play the c4 lines. After capturing this pawn, you capture with the knight. Don't move your knight in the central position, because each and every time your aim, when you are moved your knight to the central position, always try to settle down the knight. It's a grandmaster rule. It is called that don't move your pieces. I mean, randomly don't move your pieces. Move your pieces and separate. Fix them. Like if you are moving this knight, you just fix the knight over here. But at the game, you can see knight is moved. Now this is a bad move. This queen blocks this bishop's diagonal. So that's a bad move. Now here probably you cannot push this pawn to open up your bishop. So now you see. You have, let me show my first. This is an inactive piece. This is an inactive piece. I have got only 2 inactive pieces, and my active pieces are 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Queen is a piece which can attack and also defend. 5 pieces. Now your piece. Now your piece. This is the active piece. This is called the tall pawn. In the chess, this is called the tall pawn. This is the active piece. I don't think so. Only this square, this square. You give your queen limited squares. So you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 inactive. I have 5 active. So at the 9th position, technically I was winning. Okay. And the experiment. So the experiment is, now this is the experiment. You can see engine is also suggesting that move. Okay, that is the move. but I am just experimenting over here like this. Okay, so here I done the wrong. I should play this one. Although if you can capture this, I can capture this. I lost a rook. This kind of situation I'm going to face. Okay, so that is an experiment, but at this position, that is a blunder move by me. This move is a blunder. So I'm already losing a piece. My sacrifice was not good. It's a blunder, not a sacrifice, a blunder. At this position, whenever you are having this kind of situation, just capture the bishop. If white moves, again give a check. I cannot hide like this. Okay, you can screenshot this position and you can analyze. It will improve your endgame. Okay, so just eliminate these two pieces. Just eliminate them. You have 1, 2, 3 pieces. Opponent have 1, 2, 3 pieces. Just analyze this position. It will improve you.